This video and the recording of it is very rare, the content in which I'm going to talk about. But on top of the content, where I am, we just had a severe storm and the power went out in the middle of me recording this video. So I have a makeshift situation going on right now. And you may see some shadows behind me because I got the various lights all around me trying to, make it look a little bit better. So this must really be something. This must really be something. So for all of my folks out here, I pray that you will be able to get something from this video that I'm going to talk about today. Because honestly, I can't really recall a time that the Lord has assigned me to convey this type of detailed prophetic dream. I just can't recall a time, trying to convey this type, having a prophetic dream like I've had this type, then turning around, conveying the dream and interpreting the dream to someone. Honestly, I just feel very, very, very out of sorts with this dream, if I can, be honest with you. I want to say up front that this is a convoluted situation that was very perplexing to me. This dream, it was very long and extensive. It pulled from me and it weighed on me as I woke up and has continued to weigh on me for this past month. Now, anytime I'm making a video about anything that may be about a kingdom marriage or some type of relationship or future spouse, God ordained, confirmed, whatever the verbiage may be, I like to always touch on the fact, about what we would say, quote unquote, the kingdom marriage situation. I know that these exact words or this type of scenario is not exactly in the Bible. This verbiage is not exactly in the Bible, or perhaps you as an individual, you may have a different point of view about it entirely, which you certainly are entitled to your point of view. I know that the words kingdom marriage, future spouse, God ordained marriage, confirmed marriage, I know those words are not side by side in the Bible. However, God is certainly in the business of bringing one man and one woman together as husband and wife for kingdom business. Again, no matter what, God is still in the business of bringing one man and one woman together as husband and wife for kingdom business. I just wanted to make sure I address this for all of you religious folks, just so, if you need a little bit of a brain break today, I understand that it could be a somewhat of a quote unquote hard pill to swallow. So I want to make sure I address this today. For my brothers and sisters in Christ who are waiting for your kingdom marriages, or perhaps, God has called you to serve and to minister to those who are waiting, to minister to those folks that are waiting to see their kingdom marriage come into the physical realm. All right. They're looking for their physical result of their kingdom marriage. This video may just be for you, and I hope that it serves as some serious encouragement. As I mentioned before, God gave me this prophetic dream about a month ago. Since I had this dream, I honestly, I woke up, I had a lot of questions from the Lord, and I prayed because I needed some guidance, because some of the things that were in this prophetic dream I had not encountered before. I never saw. And honestly, I just, and one of those things was like, Lord, whoever this man is, like, why me? Why are you asking me to convey this type of long prophetic dream? Now I'm asking the Lord this, but me. If you don't know me, I operate in certain gifts that I know that God has given me. He's gifted me and he's confirmed to me. So I'm asking God this, hey God, why are you using me for this particular this dream and this situation, this convoluted situation? But this is actually a rhetorical question. I already know the answer to it, but I'm still a human being. So sometimes I look at the Lord and I say, Lord, why are you asking me to do this? Right? So because again, this is a rare occasion for me. It's a convoluted situation. It pulled a lot from me. It weighed on me very heavily. So, sir, the man who has been doing a lot of crying, and I saw you crying in this dream, and I know you've been devastated. You are devastated still. I just want to say to you beyond a reasonable doubt that God is indeed real. He hears your prayers. He sees you even as you're watching this video. And he alone, God alone, has still been protecting you, even though you are, what I would say, mad at him for something that has been happening in your life. And I think this prophetic dream and the restriction that you feel in this prophetic dream, based on what I sense, and these events that are around and in your life, you are actually blaming God for all of this. I want you to remember, whether you understand this fully or not, and this may be flying over your head, right now, but God has been, even though you may not be acknowledging him, God has been standing between you and the evil one, who is Satan. He has been standing between you and the evil one all this time, and that evil one is Satan. Satan has been behind all the hardship that you've been facing, that has been causing this confused thinking that you have. Satan has been around, causing you to see this woman that you love, to see her in the wrong light. Nothing changed about this woman. Nothing changed about her. She is still the same woman that you fell in love with. But when you are operating with an unclean spirit of confusion, Satan is behind it, and he's using other people around you, which is why I'm going to be talking about in this dream. There is several women in your life that have been the main reasons why you are no longer with the woman that you fell in love with. They're the reason why you see this woman in a different light. They're the reason why your heart continues to be hard. You have a very hard heart because you're angry, because you don't fully understand what's happening. You're looking around and you're saying, nothing is going right in my life. And, for anybody like my brothers and sisters in Christ, you were talking to anyone, if you are familiar with this type of situation, when you know that you're not doing anything and there's no other logical reason why you have such chaos in your life, the probability is high that you have demons and or unclean spirits operating around you or in you, because they're open doors. And in this case, those open doors are the women that are around you. Okay. And because your heart is hardened, you feel nothing. You feel numb. You feel numb to everything. And out of this numbness, you feel so much pain. You feel so much pain, and you've been feeling this way for quite some time, which is why, the way I saw you in this dream, you were just crying profusely. You were crying profusely. Now, remember, God is utilizing me to confirm to you that he is indeed real and that he desires to transform your life. And one of those things I'm going to tell you right out the gate is that God desires for you to move away from these toxic family members and friends and the satanic ex that I know is in this dream. I'm going to get ready to talk about in just a moment, because your ex, although you and your ex are not together, she is very active and continuing to make sure you are bound and restricted. Because based on what I'm going to describe in this prophetic dream, that again, it's very convoluted, it's long, it's exhausting, and it weighed very heavily on me. This ex is indeed a witch. The only way you can be healed is that you're going to have to move away. The only way you can be restored is that you're going to have to move away. The only way you can be delivered is that you're going to have to move away. And the only way to sustain this deliverance is that you have to move away. Now, the best way I can describe this for my brothers and sisters in Christ, because, Sir, I'm the type of person where, I take my responsibility to my brothers and sisters in Christ as I continue to convey things that I believe the Lord is leading me to say. So there's a level of accountability that I take very seriously. So I try my best to explain things to the best of my ability. And some things I will not reveal for various reasons. But, anytime we can take an opportunity to either teach people or to convey, to help people to understand a little bit better, because although this dream is for you, sir, there are other people that probably this can resonate with. Maybe not every element of the dream, but certain parts of the dream that they can indeed resonate with. Okay. So the best way that I can describe this dream to you as it starts out is that if you can imagine, like, there's an actual dollhouse, that little girls play with, doll houses, and then when you open up that dollhouse, it has like all types of rooms inside of it. All right. So if you can magnify that, like real time, big time, that is exactly how I saw all of these different people inside of what I believe is your house. Right. Each person had their own house, their own room. And within that room, it had all types of things that helped me to understand their role in your life. Okay. And I know that. So, again, I'm not going to say every single thing that I saw in each and every room, because time is very limited, and I don't want to get into a whole lot of different things, because this dream was very long. It was very long. It was very long. Okay. So, when I walked, as the dream began, before I understood that there was going to be all these various rooms, I walked into a room, and the room that I walked into that I eventually understood was your room. But I saw you as a man. You were sitting there and you were crying. I mean, you were like crying. I mean, crying where you got all kind of stuff coming out your nose. I don't want to say the word, but all kind of stuff coming out your nose. I mean, you was doing that crying where it's just like, you just couldn't even stop. You just couldn't even stop, right? You just couldn't stop. You would need an entire box of tissues to help you dry your face up. All right. And as I looked around at you, on the back of your head, the name tattooed on the back of your head, it had the word confusion tattooed on the back of your head. And your head, sir, was misshapen. Your head was misshapen. All right. So, as I mentioned before, you're going to have to move. Now, God has already shown you that you need to move, and he's also told you who to call to help you. So I hope, sir, that you will reach out to them, that you will call them as soon as you can, so that you can get out of this demonic, unclean environment as soon as possible. Now, for the women that were in throughout this dream, each woman, they had names tattooed on them on different parts of their body, and I'm gonna get to that in just a moment. Now, in the dream, as the name would, I could see the name. The name would come quickly, then it would quickly fade away. So, that's an illustration of making it known, but it still wants to hide away, right? So, there's at least maybe two names that I'm not really clear of in terms of the act. Maybe one name that I'm not clear of in terms of the a few letters in the name. So, it is what it is, unfortunately, but because it came in and went out very quickly. So, and I have not, I'm going to confess, I have not had an opportunity to look up any of this information to sort of see what it is. But I think it's safe to say that it's probably something related to unclean spirits and, demons or something along those lines. I'm pretty sure based on what I saw in the actual dream. Okay. Now, now I'm going to start to get into the different rooms and what each person was, what I saw in the room. And again, some details have been left out. Okay. Some details have been left out. So if you hear me say something and you're saying, well, oh, Tracy she didn't say this. And how would she know that? Again, not every detail I'm going to state. Okay. In the room where your ex was, it was like a shrine. And I guess some people will say it's almost like an altar, but it was like a shrine of your relationship. Everything you gave this woman when you were in a relationship with her, she kept. The ring you gave her, the car, and yes, the room was big enough to actually hold the car. And it looked like it was an older Honda Civic. It looked like it was an older Honda Civic. The clothes you gave her, the jewelry, the cards, the flower petals. I mean, she kept everything. I even saw different types of tea bags. And I saw like an obituary of a deceased woman as well. So she uses your ex, even though you're not with her, even though you aren't with her, you haven't been with her in years. You spent a long time with her, but you're not with her. Okay, even though you are not with her, she still uses all of this stuff in her rituals against you. And the name tattooed on your ex's forehead was Jen. And that is spelled Jinn. Again, Jinn. That was the name tattooed on her forehead. I saw your ex in her room in the house, and and she was conjuring up spirits and throwing darts. She was conjuring up spirits and throwing darts. I could see that occasionally she would be like weak, as though she was about to faint. And what I began to notice is that she would touch the wall of a family member that lives with you. And again, I heard the family member that lives with you. Again, you don't have all the details. I know that this family member lives with you based on what was inside of that family member's room. The family member that lives with you to get strengthened. So your ex, which is the witch, she's conjuring up. And she's using these various things, but there were at times where she would like get weak. So it's almost like she was about to faint, but then she would put her hand on the wall, and the wall was also, she shared a wall with the family member that lives with you. And by touching this wall, she would get strength. And what I eventually understood is that the family member who lives with you, see, she's around you. She had access to all types of various things in your life. So the family member would go get fresh photos of you, and she would then send them or give them to your ex, which is the witch, and she would continue on conjuring up the various spirits and performing her rituals. See, the family member that lives with you, obviously she's demonic also, right? But because her room, the family member that lives with you, it was next to the ex's room, like I mentioned before. This family member, when I saw her, she was like, she was like vibrating all over her body. She was constantly shaking and just vibrating the whole time. From the top of her head to the sole of her feet, she was just constantly vibrating all the time. And the name tattooed repeatedly around her head was the name Legion. Now, I know what Legion is, and so does my brothers and sisters in Christ know what the word Legion means in the Bible. And obviously this is, not a good thing. Okay. But in the center of your family member who lives with you, in the center of her head, she had hair missing. Like it was sort of like at the crown of her head. The hair along that was missing. I could see the word Legion tattooed all around her head because her hair was very thin. And in the center of her head at the crown, it was no hair at all. Okay. And this family member had a chain on her wrist, and your outline was chained to this chain that was around her wrist. Everywhere she walked in this room, she drug you with her. The chain was like, I would say maybe like 2 feet long, and it was with her all the time. The walls between all these women's I eventually saw as I continued to look and understand, but I didn't notice it at first, but I saw that the walls between all of the women, including your ex, they were mirrors. So they could constantly see each other. So that essentially told me that these women were in constant communication with one another. Now the wall in your room, sir, it was wood. And this and the wall, the wood in the wall, it had a lot of cracks and holes in it. The room where the woman you love, which was next to yours, it was like a pod, P-O-D. It was like a pod. I mean, it looked safe, and honestly, I felt like it was safe. This woman who you love, she looked completely clueless. She looked completely clueless about everything outside of the pod. So all this activities happened around her, but she was completely clueless. The room next to the woman that you love, between the both of you, it was you and her room. It was no mirror there, but the wall that separated the two of you, it had black spiders all crawling. I mean, it was a lot of black spiders, and there were black crows actually flying around the pod of the woman that you love. And again, she was completely and utterly clueless. All right. She was completely and utterly clueless. And honestly, still makes me feel uncomfortable just talking about it. Even as I'm making this video, it still makes me feel uncomfortable. We all know what spiders, black spiders and crows, obviously that represents witchcraft. I don't think any of this is shocking to anyone thus far. The other two women in this dream, these two women, they had the same name tattooed on them, but it was at different parts of their body. And the name that I saw tattooed, and this is one of these names that because the name will come in and then it will go out quickly, I may not have like a letter or two right. So I haven't had a chance to look at anything, but the name, to the best of my ability, how I can pronounce it is Nabrius. N as in Nancy, Aberius. I'm not sure about one or two letters in there, but that's what I wrote down when I woke up. But it was Naberis. Okay. Now, one of the women that had the same name tattooed on them, one of the women had this name tattooed on both of her ring fingers. And excuse me, the other women had this name, the same name. It was tattooed around her lips, around her lips. Listen, like I said before, I know I should have probably looked up the names. I apologize for that, but I think we all probably understand that whenever I do get a chance to look this up, or perhaps if one of you are going to be able to look these things up, and as you may ponder on what I'm saying in this dream to this particular man, I'm pretty sure there's going to probably be some type of demon and unclean spirits associated with at least two of the names that I'm not familiar with. Obviously, the spirit of confusion and the legion, we already know about that, but those other two names I'm going to have to look up. So, and I'm sure that there's probably going to be some type of, separation rituals and love spells or what have you associated. Again, I don't know 100%, but I know at least some of the rituals based on what I saw the ex perform, and I'm sure probably some of that was love spells and separation spells as well. So, sir, as I said before, I'm not giving every single detail because this this dream was really exhausting for me. This dream was saturated with all types of colors and sounds, and believe it or not, electronic devices. And even in your room, sir, it had a shower running. Just to name a few of things. I've already talked about the car, right? An actual car in one of the rooms. So it was quite a dream. It was quite a dream. And you know what? I have. To save some time, I'm only going to interpret like the overarching details so that I don't get into every little finite thing, So if you decide that you want to reach out to me, and I'm going to cover that a little bit in the next steps before I conclude this video, maybe some of those other finite details can serve as confirmations and things that not only to help me to know that the dream is indeed for you, but also it'll help you to know that it is actually for you as well. So, so just again, to give you some overarching interpretation of this dream, the people around you obviously are performing witchcraft, and I believe they've been doing it for quite some time. Okay. They all talk and they operate together in what I would like to call a coven. To keep information, to get information, they operate in sync. Like, it's almost like a coven, and they talk and they operate together, and you don't notice, you don't recognize this, but they are so good at what they do that they have been able to just operate under the radar because you don't recognize it. And you are part of the reason why they are able to continue to get information from you, because the family member that lives with you serves as an information gatherer. Okay. Your ex is definitely a witch, and I would say she is also into animal sacrifices. I would venture to say that she's also into animal sacrifices. I would also say that probably all the other women are witches too. Now, aside from your ex being a witch, I say that these women are probably witches as well. But the other women, I don't think they realize they're witches. Like I think they believe what they're doing and how they're operating in your life, that they believe that they're actually protecting you. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. The family member who lives with you is that information gatherer. that she is the hub of how all of this in this coven continues to operate. She is the hub. When you take showers, like I mentioned to you, there's so many things in this dream, colors and objects and, devices, and even a shower. And that shower was in your room. And I'm going to tell you, even this family member that lived with you, who is this information gatherer, even when you take a shower, for example, when you leave, this family member, she takes this as an opportunity to take photos off your phone and other electronic devices. And she then takes these things and transmit them over to your ex, who is definitely a witch, who is definitely the one that's conjuring up these spirits and performing these rituals, because she continues to need new things to maintain these rituals. And again, I would venture to say that this witchcraft that they have been performing in your life has been ongoing for several years now. I mean, anytime you walk out, let's just say you walk outside, you go talk to someone, if you're leaving anything, any electronic device, anything, this family member is constantly searching your room, even your own room. This family member who lives with you is searching your room and your personal items, including your clothes, anything she can get that has any information about the woman you love, or any information about you and any intent that you're doing, any place you want to go, something you're planning to do. This is why things don't work out, because they're getting this information and they are blocking you, and they have been successful thus far. I even saw this family member who lives with you. She was searching some type of safe. I could not make out what it was, but it looked like almost like a safe. So I don't know if like you have some important things in there, or maybe you have something important in there that you kept from of the woman that you love, and you wanted to, you want to keep it for yourself. And even though this devastating situation is occurring between the both of you, I don't really know. The same family member who lives with you, she keeps a close watch on you. Every move you make, she reports back to the others. This family member, she only wants to do things with you and nobody else. Nobody else. She would prefer to do them with you. I would say, like, based on just the way I saw it in the dream, I would say, like, if someone invited this family member to go someplace else, she would not want to go unless you were going with her. It's almost like you're her favorite person, like how children have, favorite dolls and stuffed animals. I mean, even grown folk have like their favorite cars. We have favorite items, and sometimes we even have a favorite person. So I would venture to say that this person who lives with you, you're like their favorite person. Now, the reason that you are okay with allowing this family member to operate like this in your life, that is because you are like, it feeds a need that you have. It feeds a need that you have, and you don't recognize that this is very detrimental. This is very detrimental. It's very detrimental, because you being in an almost like a favorite person, almost like this family member, it's almost like she idolizes you, which is why she has no problem constantly taking things, and taking photos and items and whatever else she can take, and she'll feed it back to the ex, who everybody knows is a witch, right? And she'll tell everybody else what's going on, where you're going, who you're doing, because they're operating and orchestrating and making sure that they keep you and the woman that you love separated. That you won't talk, you won't meet up, you have no activity together, right? And part of that is because she treats you almost like she idolizes you, and that you're her favorite person. That is really what's working behind that. And it makes you feel good to a certain degree, but until the situation happened with the woman that you love, it is making you rethink things, because at the end of the day, this, treating you like you are this person's favorite person is very detrimental to you. Excuse me. Now, if you end up going anywhere without this person, I mean, that chain, remember that chain I talked to you about, which is about 2 feet long, that person is yanking on that chain, pulling you back. Like, they're going to make you pay for the fact that you left them, right? Because you're the favorite person. And I mean, that's the best way I can describe it. Maybe favorite person is not the right word, but or phrase, but it's like that's the best way I can describe it. So they make this family member lives with you. When you go and you do something without them, oh, they're gonna make you pay. They're gonna make you pay when you get back. They're gonna make you pay. And when you get back and you come back and you share information innocently about where you've been or who you've been with, they then take their information and that gets worked into the rituals and the conjuring, and they make sure that it doesn't happen again, because again, you're on a short leash. Now for anybody that's listening, I mean, this sounds like a very sickening situation. Honestly, sounds very sickening. It sounds like this person is very possessive of you. It sounds like this person is, they're very small in their thinking, and they live a small life. I mean, who wants to live this way? Honestly, like, you spend a whole lot of time worrying about the whereabouts of someone else, and you have to ask yourself, well, how long would you operate like this? Like, are you planning, whatever age the person may be, your family member, like, do they actually believe that they can operate like this for the rest of their life? Perhaps they intend to do that, but I guarantee you for sure, they intend to keep you on a tight leash, on a very tight leash. And that's why they're dragging you around in their room everywhere they go, everywhere they go. Obviously this person, this family member that lives with you, they are in complete and utter bondage. And if you don't know about Legion that's tattooed on this family member, that explains a lot. That explains a lot. Anybody who's familiar with demonic and unclean spirits, that explains a whole lot. That explains a whole lot. Now, the other two women who were there, they shared the same name that was tattooed on them, which I talked about. These women, like, even though they had their own rooms, like, they were still monitoring you from afar. They were still monitoring you from afar. You know what was so perplexing about each of their rooms? Because one lady, as I mentioned, she had that name tattooed on both her ring fingers, and then the other one had it tattooed on her lips. But in each of their rooms, these women, which was so perplexing, I saw a different type of man for each woman. And they were hugging this man. Like, one lady had in her room, she had a man, she was hugging him that was different from you. The other woman in her room, she had a man, she was hugging him, and he was different from you as well. But they were completely consumed in monitoring you and watching you from afar, even though they were hugging each of these men. And that was very perplexing. I understand it, but it was still very perplexing to watch. Okay. So given that these women have that same name tattooed, like on their on the lips and on each the ring fingers, for me, I would interpret that to say that these women either, like, they share a name together, like in real life, like maybe their name has some type of relationship, but that's going to help you to narrow this down. Excuse me. Like, they share the same type of name. Like, I don't know if, like, their first name are the same, or their second name is the same. Like, I don't really know, but I feel like, and I sense that the name of the same name that's tattooed has to be some type of relationship concerning their actual name in real life. Okay. And one other thing that I didn't say about one of the women out of these two women that I'm talking about, that had the same name tattooed at different parts of their body. One of these women, they also had a ladder in their room. It was a ladder. And obviously, that's a no-brainer. A ladder is used for rescuing people. So one of these women, either you utilize her, that you run to help rescue you out of things, and you're innocently doing this, or she believes that she is a rescuer for you, right? So again, you are innocently dealing with this woman who serves as a rescuer in your life, but you do not understand that these women outside of your ex, you do not understand that the roles that you allow these women to play in your life, that they believe that they are indeed protecting you. when they may not recognize that they're performing witchcraft and that they have unclean and or demons operating through them. They may not realize that. So I've saved the last three things for last. I've saved the last three things for the best three things for last. Okay, and two of these things are very unconventional. But again, I'm hoping that this is going to serve as some identifiers to narrow the scope down even further for the actual man who's doing all of this crying to just as more confirmation to you on top of the fact that God is indeed real. Okay. So the first thing is that the number 30 was actually casted on the wall between you and the woman that you love. Despite the fact that the crows were flying around that pod that she was in and the spiders were crawling off on that wall. When I saw the number, I didn't, for some reason, when I woke up, I did not feel as though it was something related to like a number, like, I needed to go and look at what the number 30 meant in the Bible. Like, I just didn't feel like that's what it was associated with. I just didn't feel like that. So this is another example of another area in which, since I had this dream over a month ago, this is another reason, like when I prayed and I asked the Lord that, I just needed more guidance and clarity on that. Okay. So, I actually, had this dream, this dream on June 15th. I had this dream on June 15th, 2024. And, again, I asked the Lord, like, what is the number 30? What does this mean? I don't feel like it's something associated with like trying to see what the number 30 quote unquote actually means. Wouldn't you know that yesterday, July 30th, I had the same dream, this exact same dream all over again. All over again. Every single detail. It was like deja vu. It was like deja vu. I had the exact same dream 30 days later on July 15th, which I now know, of course, July 15th was yesterday because I am recording this video on Tuesday, July 16th. So I now know that the number 30 actually means 30 days. So, sir, beginning today, July 16th, you have 30 days to move or to stay. God has given you a choice. You obviously have free will. As I mentioned to you before, He has revealed to you the person to reach out to help you with this move, so that you can have a place to stay. Okay. God has been working on you for quite some time, sir. He's been working on you for quite some time. So I am like the final destination here for, what you need to make the decision to move. You have to move away, sir. When you move away, God can begin to restore you. He can begin to set you free, and He can begin to not only deliver you, but that you will be able to sustain your deliverance. Because having a spirit of confusion, you're going to need deliverance from that. You're going to need deliverance for that. I know you may not feel like you have a demon or an unclean spirit in and around you, but you do. You have a demon of confusion, an unclean spirit of confusion operating or actually inside of you. And that spirit has been conjured up and is continuing to be sustained because your ex is continuing to perform rituals. She is conjuring up these spirits. This is why you continue to make bad decisions. This is why you don't recognize. You're confused. You're double-minded. Okay, you're double-minded. That's why you can't make a decision. You can't make a decision. If you do make a decision, it ends up being the wrong one. And people around you look at you and say, why would you decide to do that? Because you have a spirit of confusion. I would say actually within you and not just operating around you. Because again, your head was misshapen. You were crying and you had the word tattooed confusion. Okay, you had the word confusion tattooed on you. The second best thing here, as I finish up. And for all of my religious folks, I just need to get this out the way. I just got to get this out the way because this is very unconventional. It's even unconventional for me, but I don't sit here and say, well, God, it can't be you. It can't be you. I don't do that. But we do have some religious folks out here that would just say, God would never do that. Right. So but again, it's unconventional. I understand it. And it's very rare, as I mentioned earlier when I started this video, of how God has used me in this capacity for this prophetic dream, or I should say for both of these dreams, because I had I had the same dream repeated to me. Okay, so for all my religious folks, all I'm going to say to you is relax, just relax. You got to trust me and just breathe. Just breathe through this part of this video. Just breathe through this part of this video. So, sir, I heard two songs in the room that you were in, and you were listening to two songs, and one of the songs is by Patti LaBelle, and it is called "If Only You Knew." If only you knew. You were listening to this song by Patti LaBelle, and the other song that you were listening to is called "Maybe We Can Try Again." And I want to say by Champion, but I'm not sure because this is an actual group, so I'm not sure if that's like the proper pronunciation of this name, but it is spelled CHAMPAIGN. Again, that's CHAMPAIGN. So it's like, I want to say champion, but again, I may not be pronouncing it right. So, and I believe that song by that, Maybe We Can Try Again, I believe that was released in 1983, which was a very long time ago. So now I normally would not refer to things like this in a prophetic situation, but I just feel for this particular video, it's critical that I do. So I just feel like that it's good to do that because again, it'll help to narrow things down a little bit more for the man that this deed isn't. This dream is indeed for. I've listened to both of the songs. They're very beautiful songs. I've read the lyrics as well, so I can see why you listen to these songs. I can see why you like these songs, and I can see why, based on seeing you crying and the pain that you have for the woman that you love and the bad decisions that you've made, and and just a separation between the two of you and all of these people around you that you had no idea. And when you watch this video, but this is going to give you more clarity that it's indeed the people around you that are continuing to keep you confused. They are continuing to keep you double-minded. They are contributing to your bad decision making. Okay. So, but God allowed me to hear both of these songs during this dream. So, I know, sir, you are in great pain. Like I said, seeing you, I don't mean to be laughing here. I'm being very sincere, but I just know that you're in pain. I know you're in pain. I know your sorrow is massive. I know your shame is overwhelming. And I know that you feel like you cannot hold your head up anymore because of the choices that you have made. But and your family members, these toxic people, these family members and friends, which includes your ex, they've told you lies about this woman that you love. They've told you lies. They've told you lies because they're jealous. And I hate to say this, and I'm going to apologize to you right now, sir. I hate to say these words, and I am not calling you this, what I'm about to say, but the best way that I can describe this based on these toxic family and friends, they think that you are simple-minded and that you do not deserve the love that this woman wanted to give you, that you do not deserve it. They think that you're simple-minded. They think that you're simple-minded. And again, each of these women have different roles in your life outside of your ex, because I do not believe that your ex plays an active role in your life. But because the ex is on the sidelines and she is like the head honcho, she is still got you like a puppet on a string. She is still dictating your life. She's still dictating your life, and she's using all the people around you to still get information. to still get information. And she is indeed a witch. She is indeed a witch. And the other family members and friends, they actually think, based on their role in your life, in your house, they actually think that they are indeed protecting you. Now, the third thing, which is going to be the last thing, in this dream, to help again narrow this down for the person that it is for the man that this is for. I saw in your room, sir. I saw a calendar on your wall, and it had December 2023. So this was obviously the Christmas season. And what I saw, what I saw you also doing. This family member who lives with you that I would say is just a grave disappointment. It's just underneath it all, I know that these people think you're simple-minded, but you're smarter than they think. Okay, but underneath it all, like this family member that lives with you, like you wouldn't say it. You wouldn't say it because of who you are, but this family member that lives with you. You have such profound disappointment for this family member. You have such profound disappointment for this family member. You have such profound disappointment for this family member. Now, again, I see this calendar on the wall. It's the month December 2023, and I'm seeing you yell out to this family member, to this family member's face, okay, to her face. Now, I'm gonna not say it word for word because you actually used some colorful language here that because I love Jesus, I cannot say this language. So you actually used some pretty colorful language here. But so I'm just going to try to pare this down to the best I can. And I'm not paraphrasing it. It's just that I'm just choosing better words so they're not too colorful, if you know what I mean. So you basically looked at this family member around Christmas time, and I'm going to say you kept saying it to this family member over and over again. You basically said to her, you can flush your own life down the toilet, but I am not going to allow you to flush my life down the toilet. And that's what you basically were saying to this family member, because you recognize that this family member, because again, you think you can save everybody. You kind of like the fact that this family member has made you, for lack of better words, as I said earlier, like their favorite person. See, you kind of like it a little bit, but it ended up being very detrimental to you, and it played a huge impact in what has happened between you and the woman that you love. And make no mistake about this, sir. You have allowed everything to happen because you're not a child. You are a grown man, and you have allowed this to happen. You have allowed this to happen. Okay. So the only way, sir, that you can be set free in your mind, this mind that is consumed with confusion because of the spirit of confusion, from this double-mindedness, as I've said before, all this chaos around you, is that you're going to have to move. You're going to have to move. And the Lord, I've already spoken about, he's giving you 30 days. If you continue to stay, because you have free will, if you continue to stay, you will perish. You will perish. These women are never going to change. I didn't stipulate everything I saw in each room, but they're never going to change. They're never going to change. And they like these demons that they are flirting with. They like these demons that are either inside of them or around them. They like them. They want to keep them. And anybody that has been in a deliverance ministry or even seen it from afar, okay, nobody can remove a demon or unclean spirit from in a person or around a person that you know for certain that's operating. Nobody can remove that if that particular individual wants it to stay with them. There's nothing you can do about it. Listen to me, sir. Once again, you cannot save anybody. You are not God. You are not responsible for other people's actions. Maybe you need to hear this from someone. Maybe you just need to hear that you have done all you can do for these people. You have done all that you can do. Maybe you need to just hear that. I don't know. Maybe you just need that that this confirmation as well, because sometimes when you feel like you need it, you're trying to help people, right? You feel like, if I stop doing it or if something changes, have I done all that I can do? And let me be here to confirm to you today, you have done all that you can do to help them. After all, this is why these same women, this is why they keep you in bondage, because you've actually been doing a good job in helping them, because your heart is so giving. Your heart is so giving. So, that heart that you got that's so giving, God has given you that heart, that servant's heart. But he's given you that heart for the purpose in his kingdom and not outside of his kingdom. The unclean spirits operating through the women around you and the unclean spirit of confusion that's operating in you, unfortunately, is keeping you stuck. These spirits that coming from the women and also that spirit of confusion inside of you is keeping you stuck. Obviously, it's keeping you confused. It's keeping you bound and chains day after day. Let me assure you, this is never going to get better. Let me assure you, this is never going to get better unless you, through your free will, you decide to move, to reach out to the person God that's already told you who to reach out to. Unless you move, you will perish. See, another thing that's happening that I noticed in this dream, sir, is that you're in debt. And as some people would say, you're in debt up to your eyeballs. You're in debt up to your eyeballs. You are in debt. See, unclean spirits, you may not recognize this because maybe this is not, because again, you are not, you have not surrendered to the Lord. So you may not necessarily understand this, but demons and unclean spirits, they can affect your finances. You are noticing your car is constantly in need of repair. You keep riding these same women in the car. Wow. Okay. Demons, unclean spirits, they can affect your finances and they can affect even your vehicle. And you are noticing that every time you turn around, something is wrong with your vehicle, or you're having a little bump up here and there, or you notice this and you notice that. That is coming from the demons that are and unclean spirits that are operating through these women. Your ex is conjuring up, and this spirit of confusion that is operating in your life as well. If you continue to stay, sir, you will be lonely and you will never truly love again. You will never truly love again like you love this woman. Now, as I mentioned before, I didn't want to say it, how people are looking at you as being simple-minded, but these people, all they do, they laugh at you behind your back. They laugh at you behind your back because they see you make bad decisions over and over and over again. You keep making bad decisions. Matter of fact, you recognize you make bad decisions and you actually live in somewhat of fear every time you got to make a decision. You get so nervous. You get so nervous. You get so nervous. That is because you have a spirit of confusion that has been conjured up that is operating inside of you. You must be delivered from this unclean spirit of confusion, this demon of confusion. As I said, because it is the reason that you are continuing to make bad decisions. You've got 30 days before the door closes, sir. So my advice to you it's just simple. Now, I don't know if you moving closer to the woman that you love, or just to move out of the environment. And then as you begin to heal and get yourself restored, that, you will then be able to reconnect with the woman that you love. I don't have clarity on that. Okay. So my advice to you is do what you have to do to go get your woman. I'm just going to say it like that. Okay. I know that just sounds like probably some kind of like movie somewhere, but I mean, listen, do what you got to do. My advice to you is do what you got to do to go get your woman, sir. Please, please. Listen, no one can force you to do anything. As I said before, you have your own free will. But eventually, all these tears that you are crying over and over and over again, and all these various things that are coming out of your nose that I don't want to talk about, okay, you still have free will. The door will close, sir, on August 16th, 2024, which will be 30 days from today. Today, as I'm making this video, is Tuesday, July 16th, 2024. And you have 30 days which will take you to August 16th, 2024. Now I pray that you will move and make the right decision, that you will reach out to that person that God has given you the information, that you will connect with, sir. Okay. And if you decide to do this, obviously the woman that you love, you and her both, you guys are going to need some serious counseling to reset the course of your relationship. Now, my email is in the description box, sir. If you desire, if you desire that you want to email me, if you need help, all right, and I will do my best to connect with you. Maybe to connect you, I should say, to maybe a local church or some type of men's ministry, and that's in your area. And I'm hoping it'll be in the new area you're gonna move to. Okay. And and certainly that you need to connect with some deliverance ministry, and I don't mean to say this and then offend anybody, but but to really get you connected to a deliverance ministry that is advanced in these gifts, and even if I gotta help you Google or even search on YouTube, I mean wherever, to help you find someone that can help you, sir, I'll be more than willing, and the choice is yours. And some of those details that I did not mention, I will save them so that that'll serve as confirmation to me, if you decide to reach out, or also for you, as we would definitely have an exchange via email. And, I'll be happy to help you in any way that I can, sir. I really would. All I can say, I keep repeating, I know it sounds so basic, but please consider moving. Please consider moving. Please cut off these women who are operating with unclean spirits. You definitely got to do that. You definitely got to do that. Stop having these women in your vehicle. Stop telling them all your business. Okay, you being that family member who lives with you, their favorite person, that is going to always be detrimental to you. That actually speaks to something that's missing inside of you, because you feel like you want to be needed for some. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, but I'm sure there has to be some type of psychology behind that for sure. Okay. Stop worrying about what other people may think. If you moved away, you gotta stop that. You have to stop worrying about. And again, I know some of this is because you have that spirit of confusion that has been conjured up inside of you from your ex. I understand it. I understand that. But you gotta, stop worrying about what other people may think, because you're so double-minded. You're so double-minded. And I pray that you will make the right decision this time. I really do. I pray that you will make the right decision this time. And remember, God is indeed real, sir. He is indeed real. He is indeed real. And I pray that I have completed this assignment and done the best that I can do to convey this dream. As I said, it's pulled on me. It was long. It was exhausted. It was just a lot. It was convoluted. It was a lot of things that was happening in this house and in all these various rooms. And as I mentioned, even the electricity went out where I am making this video. So I would say that, you need this video, and you need this next step, and you need to make a change. God loves you despite the fact that you blame him for things. God still loves you. You don't have to live this way. You don't have to live this way. Please consider moving. You have 30 days now that God has indeed confirmed that the 30 in this dream actually meant days, because I had the dream on June 16th, and then I had the same dream yesterday on on June 15th, excuse me. I had the dream, and I had the same dream yesterday on July 15th. And at the making of this video, it is Tuesday, July 16th. And I pray that you have during this 30-day window, that you will, I know that you may not be used to exercising your faith, but I would just pray that you will move. You will just take one step. God will show you what he's able to do in your life. God is indeed real, and he loves you, and he has an amazing plan for your life.